Shalom, everyone. So I just saw a video of bluntblackjew, who I follow on Instagram, and he posted a response to a question: what is the worst advice you've ever gotten from a rabbi? So I thought that I would contribute to this also because it's an interesting question and enlightening, because sadly, while the answer for some people might be exceptions, I think his answer is reflective of a broader reality based on my personal experience. So the worst advice that he got from a rabbi was that he was struggling with the fact that he's a black Jew, and so he gets flack both from black non-Jews and he gets stupidity from non-black Jews. So he wanted to know how to deal with this sort of dichotomy that he embodies within himself. Not necessarily a dichotomy, but it makes conflicts and causes him to experience bigotry in both directions. And he was told, well, you're going to have to choose. Are you black or are you Jewish? So stupid. So I would say that my most memorable, ridiculous advice that I've gotten from rabbis, and I say this because I've gotten it from multiple rabbis and from non-rabbis. I don't even know how many times I've been recommended this. Is in their trying to figure out how to rectify the fact that I'm attracted to my own gender or my own sex. I'm attracted to men and I'm a man, right? And yet this conflicts with the first commandment in the Torah to be fruitful and multiply. So, and also it conflicts with their understanding of certain prohibitions in the Torah. So their advice that I've gotten several times is that, well, I should just go visit a prostitute and everything will be all right. Then I'll realize magically that I'm attracted to women. I've gotten this from ultra-Orthodox rabbis. Yeah. So, be that as it may. I don't know bluntblackjew on Instagram in person. I've never had real discussions with them. For sure you could say, well, black doesn't have to be your identity, like your world, right? And being gay doesn't have to be your identity. It's not everything, right? Can't you just keep that a secret? Like, can't you just separate it from who you are? Well, yeah, of course it's not. It's not the majority of who I am, and honestly, if I could choose, it would be no part of who I am. And there are many things in my life, things that can't be changed, that if I could, I would change them. But the fact that they are, the fact of the reality that it's something that affects my every single daily experience, means that although I am not gay in the sense that that is not the essence of who I am, but it is a major part of my daily experience, which I cannot get away from. And this is no less true for someone who's black. In fact, if you're black and you live in a majority non-black area, that's even more difficult to hide than the fact that you're gay. That's just a reality. And I can also testify that although someone who is black stands out more among the general Jewish population than someone who's white, but I also stand out among the general Jewish population, Jews aren't exactly known for having blonde hair and blue eyes. And someone who, in ignorance, may think that Jews do usually have blonde hair and blue eyes, it's just a complete ignoramus in the matter. I can't tell you how many times that people understood immediately that I may very well not come from a Jewish family by birth. What are they basing that off of? They're not basing that off of the fact that I can't speak Hebrew, because I can. And I've had people ask me this in Hebrew while I'm speaking to them in Hebrew. So I also get different treatment based on my physical appearance. But I have no doubt that someone who's black gets even more frequent different treatment. For sure, he stands out more than I do. But yeah, I've experienced it as well. But it's also important to note that this kind of a difference in treatment is not, it's not a saying that you should be killed or you cannot be Jewish because of the color of your skin. Most people in the Jewish world would never say that kind of thing, and they know objectively that that's not true. But it doesn't change the fact that you live every day with the effects of how you're different in certain ways. And it doesn't mean, again, that that's all who I am or that that's all who Blunt Black Jew is. But it's a reality that you can't escape. And yes, everyone has differences. But you have to be insincere to deny that certain differences make you stand out more than other differences. Someone who's Jewish, who externally looks no significantly different than the majority of other Jews in his area, who has no religious convictions that are particularly different than the majority of Jews in his area, who has family connections in his area or somewhere else where other Jews in his area also know people from that place, they're going to have a different experience from someone who has no family connections, who looks substantially different, who has different religious convictions. It's just a fact. And it's not just true for a convert living among Jews who looks physically different and also happens to be gay or black. But this is also true for a Jew who finds himself living in a non-Jewish world. A Jew who values Jewish tradition, looks different, and finds himself in a majority black area, or finds himself in a majority secular white area, or in a majority Christian area. He's also going to stand out. Most people in certain scenarios cannot escape the reality of being treated differently based on immutable characteristics. But not everybody lives in such places. Not everybody finds themselves constantly in such scenarios where they're constantly different. And some people do. So while you may not fully understand it, try to have a little compassion. Shalom uvracha. Yalla bye.